Roughly 70 million years ago, during the final chapter of the Age of Dinosaurs, vast plains stretched across what is now North America. These landscapes were alive with towering conifers, flowering plants, and enormous animals that dominated land, sea, and sky. Among the giants moved a very different kind of dinosaur, lightweight, fast, and remarkably bird-like. This dinosaur was Ornithomimus. The name Ornithomimus means bird mimic, a fitting description for a creature whose body shape closely resembled modern running birds such as ostriches. With a long neck, slender body, and powerful legs, Ornithomimus was built for speed rather than brute strength. While massive predators stalked the same environments, this dinosaur relied on agility and awareness to survive. Fossils of Ornithomimus were first discovered in the early 20th century in Canada's Dinosaur Park Formation. These discoveries revealed a dinosaur unlike many others known at the time. Instead of the heavy bones and powerful jaws associated with predatory theropods, Ornithomimus possessed a lightweight skeleton, a toothless beak, and extremely long legs. Paleontologists soon realized that this dinosaur belonged to a group called ornithomimids, theropods that evolved bodies optimized for speed and endurance. Other members of this group included species like Gallimimus, but Ornithomimus quickly became one of the best-known examples. Standing about 4 meters long and roughly 2 meters tall at the hips, Ornithomimus was not particularly large compared to many other dinosaurs. However, its proportions reveal a different kind of power. Its legs were long and slender, with strong muscles that allowed rapid acceleration. Its tail extended behind the body as a balancing structure, helping stabilize the dinosaur during high-speed movement. The skull of Ornithomimus is one of its most distinctive features. Unlike carnivorous dinosaurs such as Velociraptor or the gigantic Tyrannosaurus rex, Ornithomimus had no teeth. Instead, its jaws ended in a beak-like structure, similar to that of modern birds. This beak suggests that Ornithomimus may have been omnivorous, feeding on a wide variety of foods. Its diet likely included small animals, insects, eggs, plants, fruits, and possibly even shellfish found along rivers and lakes. Such dietary flexibility would have given it a major advantage in changing environments. One of the most remarkable aspects of Ornithomimus is its potential speed. By studying fossilized bones and comparing them with modern animals, scientists estimate that this dinosaur could have reached speeds of up to 60 kilometers per hour. If accurate, this would make it one of the fastest dinosaurs ever to live. Speed alone, however, does not guarantee survival. The late Cretaceous ecosystem was filled with dangers. Predators such as Tyrannosaurus rex and large dromaeosaurs hunted across the same plains. For a relatively small dinosaur like Ornithomimus, the ability to detect danger early and escape quickly was essential. The eyes of Ornithomimus were positioned on the sides of its head, giving it a wide field of vision. This adaptation allowed the dinosaur to monitor its surroundings while running or feeding. Combined with its long legs and lightweight skeleton, this visual awareness made Ornithomimus extremely difficult for predators to catch. Recent fossil discoveries have also revealed evidence that Ornithomimus was covered in feathers. These feathers were not necessarily used for flight but may have served other purposes, such as insulation, display, or protection for young individuals. The presence of feathers strengthens the evolutionary connection between dinosaurs and modern birds. Ornithomimus, with its bird-like skeleton and feather covering, represents a stage in the long evolutionary pathway that eventually produced the birds we see today. In life, Ornithomimus likely spent much of its time moving across open plains and river valleys in search of food. Its lightweight body allowed it to travel long distances efficiently, while its omnivorous diet meant it could exploit many different resources. These traits, speed, adaptability, and awareness, made Ornithomimus one of the most successful dinosaurs in its environment. But speed alone does not tell the full story of this remarkable creature. To understand how Ornithomimus truly lived, scientists must examine its behavior, environment, and evolutionary relatives. And that story continues in the next chapter. During the late Cretaceous period, the world of Ornithomimus was a landscape of enormous diversity. Vast floodplains, braided river systems, and open woodlands stretched across the ancient continent known as Laramidia, a landmass that formed the western half of North America when a shallow sea divided the continent in two. In these environments, herbivorous giants grazed on vegetation while powerful predators patrolled the terrain. Within this dynamic ecosystem, Ornithomimus occupied a unique ecological niche. Unlike large plant-eating dinosaurs such as Triceratops or Edmontosaurus, and unlike apex predators such as Tyrannosaurus rex, Ornithomimus lived a flexible lifestyle that allowed it to exploit many different food sources. Its toothless beak suggests a diet that may have included fruits, seeds, leaves, insects, small vertebrates, and eggs. Some paleontologists even speculate that Ornithomimus may have used its beak to probe the ground or sift through soft sediment along riverbanks in search of food. This behavior would resemble the feeding habits of certain modern birds such as ostriches and shorebirds. The arms of Ornithomimus were long and relatively flexible, ending in 3 slender fingers tipped with claws. These limbs may have been used for grasping food, manipulating objects, or perhaps digging through loose soil or vegetation. Fossil evidence suggests that these arms were also covered in feathers, forming wing-like structures that may have been used for display or thermoregulation. Feathers have become one of the most important discoveries in modern dinosaur research. For decades, scientists imagined dinosaurs as scaly reptiles. However, fossil impressions discovered in China and North America revealed that many theropods, including ornithomimids, possessed feather coverings. In the case of Ornithomimus, juvenile fossils show clear evidence of feather structures across the body. Adults appear to have retained feathers mainly on their arms and tail, forming primitive wings that were not capable of flight but may have been used for communication, balance, or attracting mates. This discovery reinforces the evolutionary link between dinosaurs and birds. Species such as Archaeopteryx demonstrate that feathers evolved long before true flight appeared. Ornithomimus represents another step along this evolutionary path, showing how bird-like traits were already widespread among dinosaurs. Movement was perhaps the most defining trait of Ornithomimus. Its hind legs were extremely long relative to its body size, and the bones were lightweight but strong. The structure of the ankle and foot indicates that the dinosaur was adapted for running at high speeds over long distances. Biomechanical studies suggest that Ornithomimus may have reached speeds approaching 60 km per hour. Such speed would have been crucial in avoiding predators. On the open plains of the Late Cretaceous, a fast dinosaur had a much greater chance of survival than a slow one. Balance during these high-speed runs was maintained by the long, stiff tail extending behind the body. This tail functioned as a counterweight, stabilizing the animal as it sprinted across uneven terrain. Similar adaptations can be seen in modern running birds such as ostriches and emus. But speed alone was not the only survival strategy. Many paleontologists believe that Ornithomimus may have lived in groups. Fossil sites containing multiple individuals suggest the possibility of herd behavior, although definitive proof remains debated. If Ornithomimus did travel in herds, this behavior would have offered several advantages. Group living increases the number of eyes watching for predators and can make it more difficult for a hunter to single out an individual target. Herds also allow animals to share information about food sources and safe travel routes. Communication within these groups may have involved visual signals, body posture, or feather displays. The feathered arms of Ornithomimus could have been raised or spread to send signals to other members of the group. The late Cretaceous environment was constantly changing. Seasonal floods reshaped river systems, storms altered landscapes, and volcanic activity occasionally transformed entire regions. For dinosaurs living in such conditions, adaptability was essential. Ornithomimus possessed several traits that made it well suited for this unpredictable world. Its omnivorous diet allowed it to switch food sources when necessary. Its speed enabled it to escape danger. Its lightweight body allowed efficient travel across large distances in search of resources. Predators were always present. The most formidable among them was Tyrannosaurus rex, an apex predator capable of bringing down enormous prey animals. Smaller but still dangerous hunters, such as dromaeosaurs, may also have targeted Ornithomimus. Against such threats, the best defense was awareness and speed. With large eyes positioned on the sides of its head, Ornithomimus likely had excellent peripheral vision, allowing it to detect approaching predators from many directions. When danger appeared, escape would have been immediate. The dinosaur's powerful legs could propel it rapidly across the plains, weaving through vegetation and terrain features in a desperate race for survival. Despite the constant risk, Ornithomimus thrived in its environment for millions of years. Fossil evidence shows that ornithomimids were widespread across North America and Asia, indicating that their body design was highly successful. This success demonstrates an important principle of evolution: survival often favors adaptability rather than specialization. While some dinosaurs evolved massive size or powerful weapons, Ornithomimus succeeded through speed, flexibility, and intelligence. Its story reveals that even in a world dominated by giants, smaller and more agile animals could flourish. Yet the full story of Ornithomimus involves more than anatomy and speed. To truly understand this dinosaur, scientists must also examine its growth, development, and role in the broader evolutionary narrative of dinosaurs and birds. Those discoveries take us deeper into the mystery of one of the most bird-like dinosaurs ever to roam the Earth. The life of Ornithomimus did not begin as a fast-running adult racing across the Cretaceous plains. Like all dinosaurs, it started life as a small, vulnerable hatchling emerging from an egg in a nest carefully placed within a relatively safe environment. Fossil evidence from related ornithomimid species suggests that these dinosaurs likely built shallow nests in sandy or soft soil. Eggs were probably arranged in circular patterns, partially buried to help maintain a stable temperature. The warmth of the sun and possibly the body heat of the parent helped incubate the developing embryos. Although direct fossil evidence of Ornithomimus nests is limited, discoveries from closely related dinosaurs indicate that parental care may have played a role in early survival. Some theropod fossils have been found positioned over nests in brooding postures, similar to modern birds. One famous example is Oviraptor, a dinosaur once mistakenly thought to steal eggs but later discovered fossilized sitting on its own nest. This finding revolutionized scientific understanding of dinosaur reproductive behavior and suggested that many theropods may have cared for the young. If Ornithomimus exhibited similar behavior, adults may have guarded nests from predators, shading eggs from excessive heat while maintaining the proper incubation temperature. Once hatched, young Ornithomimus individuals were likely covered with a dense layer of insulating feathers. Fossil evidence from juvenile specimens strongly suggests that feathers were present across much of the body during early life stages. These feathers likely served several purposes. They helped regulate body temperature, protected the young from environmental conditions, and possibly played a role in camouflage among vegetation and ground cover. Juvenile Ornithomimus were probably much smaller and lighter than adults, making them especially vulnerable to predators. Many carnivorous dinosaurs and other animals would have targeted young individuals as easy prey. Because of this danger, young Ornithomimus likely relied on hiding, quick bursts of speed, and perhaps the protection of nearby adults or herd members. Rapid growth would have been critical for survival. Bone growth studies indicate that many theropod dinosaurs grew extremely quickly compared to most modern reptiles. Ornithomimus may have reached near adult size within only a few years, dramatically increasing its chances of survival. As they matured, their bodies changed significantly. Juveniles appear to have had fuller feather coverage, while adults retained feathers primarily on their arms and tail. This shift suggests that feather function may have changed throughout life. Young dinosaurs may have needed full body insulation, while adults, being larger and capable of generating more body heat, required feathers mainly for display or communication. Another intriguing aspect of Ornithomimus biology is its brain structure. Fossilized skull cavities allow scientists to estimate brain size and organization, revealing clues about sensory abilities and behavior. Compared with many other dinosaurs, Ornithomimus had a relatively large brain for its body size. This does not necessarily mean it was highly intelligent by mammalian standards, but it does suggest advanced sensory processing and coordination. Large optic lobes indicate strong visual capabilities, while the shape of the inner ear suggests excellent balance, an important trait for an animal built for high-speed running. These features reinforce the idea that Ornithomimus was a highly active dinosaur relying on fast reactions and situational awareness to survive in a dangerous world. Its long neck and flexible head allowed it to scan the environment constantly while moving. This would have been particularly useful in open habitats where predators could approach from many directions. Another question paleontologists have explored is how Ornithomimus interacted with other dinosaurs in its ecosystem. Fossil assemblages sometimes show Ornithomimus remains near those of large herbivores. One possibility is that Ornithomimus followed herds of plant-eating dinosaurs such as Edmontosaurus. These massive animals disturbed vegetation and soil as they moved, potentially exposing insects, seeds, and small animals that Ornithomimus could eat. This kind of ecological relationship exists in modern ecosystems as well. Birds often follow large mammals, feeding on insects stirred up by their movement. Ornithomimus may have played a similar opportunistic role in the Cretaceous landscape. Additionally, its omnivorous diet meant it could adapt to seasonal changes in food availability. During periods when plant material was scarce, it might have relied more heavily on insects, small reptiles, or eggs from other nests. While Ornithomimus itself was prey for larger predators, it may also have been a nest raider. Many omnivorous animals consume eggs when available, as they are rich sources of nutrients. This possibility adds another layer of complexity to the ecosystem dynamics of the Late Cretaceous. Despite its speed and adaptability, Ornithomimus was still part of a fragile world that would eventually undergo one of the most dramatic extinction events in Earth's history. Approximately 66 million years ago, a catastrophic event known as the Cretaceous-Paleogene extinction event brought an end to the reign of non-avian dinosaurs. A massive asteroid impact near present-day Mexico triggered global environmental collapse. Dust and debris blocked sunlight, temperatures dropped, ecosystems failed, and countless species disappeared. Dinosaurs like Ornithomimus vanished during this event. However, one branch of their evolutionary lineage survived and continued to evolve. That surviving lineage would eventually become modern birds. Understanding Ornithomimus helps scientists trace the evolutionary steps that transformed certain dinosaurs into the feathered creatures that fill today's skies. And that connection leads directly into the final part of the story, how Ornithomimus fits into the larger evolutionary transition from dinosaurs to birds. The story of Ornithomimus ultimately leads to one of the most fascinating scientific revelations of modern paleontology. Dinosaurs did not completely disappear. In fact, they are still alive today in the form of birds. For many years, scientists debated whether birds truly descended from dinosaurs. Early fossil discoveries hinted at this connection, but the evidence was incomplete. That changed dramatically with the discovery of feathered dinosaur fossils and transitional species that displayed both reptilian and avian characteristics. One of the most famous examples is Archaeopteryx, discovered in Germany in the 19th century. Archaeopteryx possessed both wings and feathers like a bird, but also had teeth, a long bony tail, and clawed fingers like a dinosaur. It represented a crucial evolutionary bridge. Later discoveries in China revealed numerous feathered theropods, including species that clearly showed how feathers evolved long before powered flight. These findings confirmed that feathers originally developed for insulation, display, or other functions before being adapted for flight. Within this evolutionary framework, Ornithomimus occupies an important position. While it was not a direct ancestor of modern birds, it shared many features with the theropod dinosaurs that eventually gave rise to them. Its lightweight skeleton, long legs, three-fingered hands, and feathered arms all reflect traits that were becoming increasingly bird-like among certain dinosaur groups. In fact, the name Ornithomimus literally means bird mimic, and modern reconstructions of the animal often make it appear strikingly similar to a large flightless bird such as an ostrich. The resemblance is not accidental. Both Ornithomimus and modern birds share ancestry within the theropod lineage. Over millions of years, natural selection gradually refined these body plans into the forms we see today. But Ornithomimus represents a branch of the evolutionary tree that eventually ended. When the Cretaceous-Paleogene extinction event occurred, ecosystems across the planet collapsed. Large animals that required vast amounts of food were particularly vulnerable. Most non-avian dinosaurs, including Ornithomimus, disappeared during this catastrophe. However, smaller feathered dinosaurs closely related to early birds managed to survive. Their small size, ability to fly or glide, and flexible diets may have helped them endure the harsh conditions that followed the asteroid impact. Those survivors evolved into the thousands of bird species that inhabit Earth today. From tiny hummingbirds to massive ostriches, every modern bird carries the legacy of the dinosaurs. In this way, Ornithomimus serves as a reminder that evolution is not a straight path but a branching tree. Some branches flourish and continue, while others end despite millions of years of success. Fossils allow scientists to reconstruct these lost branches and understand the incredible diversity that once existed. The discovery of Ornithomimus fossils in North America during the early 20th century helped expand scientific understanding of dinosaur diversity and behavior. Paleontologists realized that dinosaurs were not simply slow-moving reptiles but dynamic, active animals occupying a wide range of ecological roles. Research continues today as new fossils and advanced technologies reveal more details about how these animals lived. Techniques such as CORT scanning allow scientists to examine fossil structures without damaging them. Microscopic analysis of bones reveals growth patterns and age at death. Chemical studies can even detect traces of ancient proteins in some fossils. Each new discovery adds another piece to the puzzle of prehistoric life. The world of the late Cretaceous was filled with extraordinary creatures, from towering herbivores to terrifying predators and agile omnivores like Ornithomimus. Although these animals vanished long ago, their legacy lives on in stone, waiting to be studied and understood. Through fossils, scientists continue to uncover the story of a world that existed millions of years before humans appeared. And among those ancient creatures, the swift and bird-like Ornithomimus remains one of the clearest reminders that the line between dinosaurs and birds is far thinner than once believed. The next time you see a bird running across the ground or spreading its wings, you may be witnessing a distant echo of a dinosaur that once sprinted across the plains of the Cretaceous world. Because in a very real sense, the age of dinosaurs never truly ended, it simply evolved into something new.